Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Daily Rates Live with the Mortgage Calculator. Today, we're going to go through some live rates and then we're going to do a deep dive into prime jumbo loans. We'll get started here in just a moment. We got the chat up on the screen. Feel free to drop a comment there in the chat as you tune in. Hope everybody's been having a great week so far. Great topic here for today, something that a lot of people run into that uh, maybe need some more info on to use it as a tool. So we'll go over that here shortly. All right, let's see here. It looks like we're live on all the different platforms now, so we can go ahead and get started. Go ahead and drop any comments you have there in the chat. And any questions you have, you can drop in the chat as well as we go through our deep dive here today. So, welcome everyone. My name is Kyle Hershey. I'm the COO of the Mortgage Calculator, joined here by our president, Nick Hershey, and sales manager, Jose Gonzalez. We are a lender specializing in non QM loans. And what we do every morning at 11 a.m. Eastern on this show is go through the live mortgage rates. And then we do a deep dive into a different loan type. And today's loan type is going to be prime jumbo loans. So, Jose will take us through that here shortly. But before we do that, we'll do what we do every morning, which is pull up the live rates. So, Nick, if you're ready, let's go ahead and pull up today's rates so we can take a look at what the market is looking like this morning.
All right. So finally, some good news for our borrowers out there. Rates have been slowly creeping down as some of the panic from the last Fed meeting has subsided, and some of the stats have come in our favor here. So what we'll do is we'll look at the rates for today. It is May 8th, just after 11 a.m. Eastern, so all of our standard programs are live here. I'm going to pull up the general rates page, which will allow us to compare across the programs. We're going to compare all our programs with a basic scenario, which is always going to be 500,000 purchase price, 400,000 loan amount. That's 80% loan to value, 20% down payment. 760 FICO credit score is what we use for all the demos, and 40% debt to income ratio here is what we'll use for all the demos. And then when we do our DSCR, we use a 1.5 DSCR value. I'll explain a little bit more about that as we go through. And when we pull this up here, make sure to cue in on the APR. That will allow you to compare across the programs. The APR does include all of the fees. If you'd like an itemized loan estimate that shows all of the itemized fees that go into the APR, please get with one of our team members. We have over 300 loan officers to help you out. And without further ado, let me share the rates for today, which again is good because we love seeing the rates go down. So first up, typically for most of our customers, the first option is a 30-year fixed conventional for a primary home. And today rates come in at 6.624 with the final APR at 6.953. So finally under 7 with the APR there. Yesterday we were a little bit over. So some great options for conventional for our borrowers that were sitting there kind of waiting. Definitely time to make a move. Today would be a great time for that. Now, if for any reason our customers don't qualify for conventional, usually the next option we want to send them to compare is an FHA option. So our 30-year fixed FHA comes in as low as 5.875, and the final APR comes in at 6.841, and this does include the upfront and yearly mortgage insurance that FHA requires. So if our customer happens to qualify for both, FHA might be a touch cheaper in this example. So definitely check it out if you qualify for both. And our customers that need to use FHA for the leniency on credit issues, as well as the higher debt to income that FHA allows, this APR does include all the costs. So this is an amazing option. And again, it has dropped since yesterday. And for our eligible veterans and active service members, our VA programs are amazing. You must be eligible, so you must have a certificate of eligibility. But if you do, these programs are amazing. 30-year fixed VA today comes in as low as 6.124. Final APR, 6.402. Again, a touch lower than yesterday, which is awesome. And notice that VA is going to have the lowest APR overall and the best benefit for our borrowers. So if you do qualify for VA, definitely want to take advantage. It's the best program out there. And the next one on our list here is USDA. USDA is only for eligible properties that are in typically a rural area under the USDA map. So in those areas, USDA is a great option. Rates as low as 5.99, and the APR comes in at 6.760 with all of the fees that are included in there. So remember, we're going to always compare the APR So USDA is actually a touch cheaper than FHA. So typically most borrowers looking in those rural areas are probably comparing these two. So definitely if USDA is eligible, I would recommend they look at USDA. And if they're eligible for VA, obviously VA is a little bit lower, right? So make sure you compare the APR across the programs to find the best one for you. Now, those are our agency and government programs. Now we get to go into the fun stuff that we love to specialize here at the Mortgage Calculator, where we have over 5,000 other options besides what you see here on these first four, which most banks and lenders only have. So first up for our non-QM option, 30-year fixed, alt-doc primary. So alt-doc typically means bank statements, 1099s, etc. This lowest rate option is probably most likely a bank statement option. Rates coming in as low as 7.125. Final APR 7.447. So notice non-QM doesn't adjust as quickly as conventional. So hopefully we see these come down a little bit more later this week. I mentioned that earlier in the last couple shows, but we're still within half a point of conventional. So typically we compare across these. So conventional coming at 6.953, non-QM to use alternative documents comes in at 7.447. So very comparable, within about a half a point as usual. So our customers that need to use AltDoc, definitely a great option. Not much more cost there for them. And for our investors, first option up here for investment properties, 30-year fixed non-QM, alt-doc investment. So again, this is probably most likely a bank statement option. Rates as low as 7.5%. And final APR comes in at 7.86. So some great options for non-QM. But let's get into our other investment options here. So first up, to compare our conventional option. Remember, agency does work, but the government programs do not. So no FHA, VA, or USDA for investments, but we do have our conventional option here. Rates as low as 7.5 today. APR comes in at 7.855. So they've been flip-flopping a little, but today conventional investment is just a touch cheaper than the non-QM option. But definitely recommend that all of our investors out there check out our favorite options, our DSCR options. So this is where we get into the straight investment business purpose loans, where we're only using the estimated rental income from the property, no personal income or personal employment used, just the estimated rents to determine a DSCR value. As I mentioned when we started, the DSCR value we're going to use for these demos is 1.5, meaning the property's cash flow well over 1 ratio, which is where they start to cash flow. So this is a 1.5 ratio DSCR with a 3-year prepayment penalty. Rates come in as low as 7.25 today, APR at 7.573. So notice this is beating conventional by a long shot. Now to sweeten the deal even more, we have a 5-year prepayment penalty option for investors that want to get a little more aggressive and may hold the properties, no problem. Rates as low as 6.875. Final APR 7.214, absolutely smoking the conventional rates here. And we'll go one more row down, and we have our no prepayment penalty option. So there is an option to do a DSCR business purpose loan here with no prepayment penalty, but it's typically not advised because it's a little more expensive. Notice the rates come in at 7.75, final APR 8.115. So a little bit higher than conventional in this case. So definitely recommend our investors take advantage of the 3 or 5-year prepay options. Notice it makes a big difference in the pricing. And for our final 2 demos here, we have 30-year fixed second mortgages. These are definitely kind of the new thing that's out. This is not a HELOC. This is a 30-year fixed second mortgage for a primary home. We have rates as low as 8.75, final APR 9.16. So that would be for a customer that wants cash out but doesn't want to touch their low rate first mortgage. They can add a fixed rate second mortgage, which with much lower rates than HELOC adjustable rates. And same thing for investment properties, 30-year fixed second mortgage for investment properties. Rates come in as low as 9.875 today. Final APR 10.216. So again, great option for investors that want to get cash out, but still have a low rate first mortgage and don't want to touch that. So amazing options here. Please feel free to click the today's rate button on our website. You can pull up this page yourself and check the live rates even as they adjust throughout the day. Let me go ahead and switch my screen. Get into today's topic. So something we don't get to go over on the live demo. It's a little bit tricky to set these up, but we do have prime jumbo loans, which is a category of jumbo loans. Jumbo loans in general just mean any loan over the conventional limit. So if I tried to do $1 million loan on the conventional, it would show as ineligible, right? In most areas. So these prime jumbo options allow us to use prime jumbo means the similar guidelines as agency, but exceed that limit. So this is kind of a hybrid there. We have true jumbo, which maybe not necessarily be considered prime jumbo. So today, Jose is going to focus on this kind of subcategory of jumbo. Jumbo means over the limit, but prime jumbo is a specific set that is preferred, right? So Jose, can you explain a little bit more about the setup that you have here?
Yes. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining us for Daily Mortgage Rates Live with the Mortgage Calculator. Prime jumbo loans. Now, what makes them prime, right? What makes them prime is that they use DU, in other words, automated underwriting, but specifically DU to underwrite the loan. So, for example, if you need your 1 year's full doc, this would be an option to do it. If you need streamlined underwriting, basically that DU is going to provide, this is the way to do it, right? I'm not saying this is the only jumbo product out there, but if you're looking for streamlined underwriting, if you're looking for automated underwriting and great rates, this is the way to do it, right? But this is a full doc option only. Now, there are primary, second home, and investment options, but you definitely have to watch the LTV, right? Because we need to get compliant pricing. This program does technically the guidelines for this program state that it can go up to 89.99 LTV. No mortgage insurance ever applicable. However, what you do have to note is that you're probably not going to get compliant pricing at an 89.99 LTV unless you have seller contribution that is paying for the loan discount, because pretty much above 80% LTV, the pricing is not compliant. So let me share the examples I have with you today for our prime jumbo. So our first option here is for a prime jumbo purchase, 20% down. So we were talking about the rates. Look at these rates now. This is full doc. This is a jumbo loan, and look at 7.25% is our lowest cost option. And you can buy that down all the way to 6.625%. Now, like I always like to state, there are other options that other rate options lower, but you would have to most likely get seller contribution to the buyer's loan discount fee to be able to offer those rates. But if you notice the rates that Nick showed you for our conforming rates, this is very competitive. So now our prime jumbo second home, also with 20% down. Cost rate goes up a little bit, right? On our other example, I'll refresh your memory, was 7.25, costing 3/4 of a point. Now we are at 7.625, costing the same 3/4 of a point as our lowest cost option. And you can buy that down all the way to 6.875. And then our investment option, also with 20% down. Now look at this. It's very, very good options here, right? Because this is investment, 20% down, and we're 8.375, only costing 1.625. And why do I say only costing? Well, I was running some scenarios yesterday for a conforming loan investment, and I was getting rates actually a little bit higher, or costs on the rate a little bit higher than this. So we have 8.375 costing 1.625, and you can buy that down all the way to 7.125. And our last example here, our prime jumbo primary cash out, still 80% LTV on the cash out, but rate goes up a little bit since it is a cash out, but still very good rates. You're looking at 8.25, almost at par, costing 0.375. and you can buy that down all the way to 6.625, which is an amazing option. So again, remember the prime jumbo loans, what makes it prime is that they use automated underwriting, specifically DU. When you do run it through DU, the objective is approve ineligible, right? And the only reason it would be ineligible would be because of the loan amount. The loan amount would be above the Fannie Mae conforming loan limits for whatever area the property is in. So it's obviously going to tell you it's ineligible for delivery to Fannie Mae as a conforming loan, but you're going to have the approval of the underwriting of the loan, which is what we're really looking for.
Okay, I don't really see any questions here. Oh, I guess we do have one about seconds. Any investment seconds interest only?
Yeah, so Rob, you would use a HELOC for that, right? Most HELOCs are interest only. The fixed rate ones, we don't have an interest only option, I don't believe, do we, Jose?
I don't think we do on the HE loans.
Yeah, but most HELOCs are, and there are many HELOC eligible for investments. Just remember the rates are going to be higher on a HELOC, and it is variable. That's why people prefer the fixed rate seconds, but no interest only option, unfortunately.
All right. Well, I didn't see any more questions, so we'll go ahead and wrap it up. Remember, 11 a.m. Eastern, every weekday, we do this show where we go through the live rates and then do a deep dive into a different loan topic. So we'll be back tomorrow with a new topic. Appreciate everybody tuning in. We'll see you tomorrow, 11 a.m. Eastern, for the next episode of Daily Rates Live with the Mortgage Calculator. Have a great day, everyone.
Thanks, everybody.